Hello, Flosstube friends, and welcome to another video on my Flosstube. In case you're wondering what you clicked on, this is the Wendy and Neverland channel. I talk about cross stitch, but I also talk about other things that happened in my life and what I've been doing. So there, that kind of wraps it all up. So let's jump right in because I don't know. I mean, I've got a lot of things to talk about, but I don't know how long it'll take to talk about them. It's not like I need to. I don't know. I don't plan on going in depth in some things, and then I do. So let's talk about, I have my, super fancy list here. Let's cover a couple of things real quick. I think I said last time I was really hoping my pond would be ready. I could sit by it and we may make these videos and all that. And I do have my pond, my pump and the hose, everything all hooked up, which took quite the effort because the hose where it connects to what they call the waterfall tank was not connecting securely. It wasn't a tight seal, even with a hose clamp and everything. So I had to go through many different trips to the pond store. Finally got it so that it was connecting and it wasn't leaking, and it runs and it's great. But now I'm dealing with like algae and sludge and yuck. And the landscaping hasn't been touched because not only was I dealing with that, but then I've been on trips and such, so I haven't been able to get out there. And then there's another issue I'll talk about in a little bit. It's preventing me from getting everything done like I want. So it's getting there, slowly but surely. I love it. I've got it on a timer now, so twice a day it runs. So it's lovely. It's just, makes your heart feel good and peaceful. The other thing that I've been doing outside, I haven't had to do a lot with it because it kind of takes care of itself, is my garden. I've shown pictures and videos and such. It's very, very, very prolific right now, and especially cucumbers. Probably more so those than the zucchini, even though I've gotten a good amount of zucchini, but my cucumbers have gone absolutely bananas. And I'm going to put a video in, or a picture, I should say, right now of one of the batches. So as you can see, it's it's gone bananas. That was 10 cucumbers that I was holding, and that was only one picking. Um, Yesterday I went out and picked, I think I picked about the same amount, and I've gotten a few here and there at other times, and it's still producing. So it's gone nuts. It's gone absolutely crazy. And those are not normal size cucumbers, because when they're the right length for a cucumber, they're only about like this big around. They're kind of skinny, almost like an English cucumber, though they're not English cucumbers. So I have to let them get fatter to be the right thickness, but then they're like ginormously long. So yeah, it's it's kind of a little crazy over there. Yesterday, so the first time I picked it, I took some to our church. It had right, I think I picked it on Saturday, so I took it to our church and I gave them to people who might want them. Yesterday, because it's going to be a while, that was a Wednesday, and I didn't want to wait that long. I just went around to like 3 of my neighbors and said, "Do you want any cucumbers?" So they took some, and my son was over, so he took one with him as well. So I got rid of quite a few of them. But yeah, it's going gangbusters. I've gotten the little tiny tomatoes. They're really sweet. They're really good. My big ones are they're starting to ripen, so I haven't been able to. I probably about the point where I could pick some, but I don't know what they taste like yet. I've eaten peas. I don't have a lot of peas because I didn't grow a lot of plants for those. The green bell pepper is still growing. I think that's going to be more of an end of the season type of thing that I'll be able to pick. It's probably got like 3 or 4 peppers on it right now that I know of for sure. But they're kind of, one's probably about that big, so not as big as it needs to be, and the others are smaller than that. What else have I gotten? A little bit of beans. They didn't do as well, and I don't know if it's because they were getting too much shade from the other plants. The carrots have been great, and I'm glad because I've had trouble growing carrots before. The onions, they're like green onions. I've used them many a times. They're doing great, and I still have some out there. So it's all good. I think if I can do it, if things work out okay, I want to put in another bed, kind of probably about 3 or 4 feet away from those ones that I have, and have it perpendicular. I might have mentioned that before. I'd be closer to the fence because that's where I'd have room for it. So I think that would help spread things out a little better, but we'll see. It's just, I'm enjoying what I'm getting right now. Um, let's see. Got a plane going on overhead. We've got a little tiny airport not far from us, so it's the smaller planes, and so it's going over. Plane's gone. Okay, so I'm going to talk about a couple other little things real quick before I get into some more stitching, because I've got, unfortunately, a lot of things that aren't stitching related, but hopefully it's still fun and entertaining for you. Um, this coming weekend, so I'm filming this on Thursday. We'll see if it gets out on Friday or not, but on Saturday, um, one of our members at our church decided he wanted to try to do something, and we'll see how this works. He's calling it a market, so it's kind of flea market-ish or farmers market kind of ish. So it's going to be, whatever people decide they want to sell. So it can be garage sale type of things. It can be new things that you've made. It could be food. It can be whatever. So they're doing that this Saturday, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. I've got a few things still left over from when I did my garage sale that haven't sold yet. Mostly my mother-in-law's stuff, like her glassware and decorative things like that. I will take some of the things that I've sewn. I will take some bags, but it's such a specialized thing that unless you're in a community where they like this, where they want that kind of stuff, it's not as big of a seller. But like bowl koozies and whatnot. And the other thing I've started doing, and I think I've shared one that I made before, but I'm going to sell bracelets. So the one I made before was kind of this bluish aqua color. It's really pretty. And then I had some beach charms on it. So I had a starfish and like a flip-flop sandal on there. And so I will put these out, and then people can decide which kind of coloring they want, as well as I will have charms for them to pick. And then kind of depending on how many charms they want will depend on the price of it. Right now, most of these are the silver ones. I have made a gold one because I didn't have all the supplies for gold yet. I was having a hard time getting those. And I do have like a bronzy color chain that I'm going to make. I just haven't done it yet. These do have the little pretty, I don't know if they'll turn around. They always want to not cooperate. It's kind of like a gem, a clear gem. They just want to wiggle. I don't know. You can kind of, nope, it's not going to cooperate. If I can get a hold of the chain just right, then I'll be able to show you, but we'll see if it's cooperating. So it's just like this clear little rhinestone type thing that hangs down at the bottom. So you've got room for the clasp, and it's got adjustable chain, so you can figure out where it's going to feel comfortable when you clasp it. And then that's just a pretty little end, so it's not just the chain hanging down. So that is what I'm going to be doing this weekend. Let's see what else. Planner pages. Let's go ahead and I'll talk about that real quick. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do July planner pages and show you ideas for that. I was able to get that, and I think I say that in the video when I show you those. But I have both July and August pages to show you. So I'm going to go ahead and insert that here. And again, if you don't want to watch this stuff, you can just skip past it and go to the next part of the video. Welcome back to our planner page section. I did get some July pages done. There's nothing terribly fancy going on in most of these. This is probably the most I put into the weeks for the July. I don't know. You can be the judge of that. Some of the things I used were pretty old, and so I have chosen not. I won't show you every little thing that I have used. So here is the first week. Obviously, it's for the 4th of July. So this whole thing, this sparkler thing, is like this photo, um, it's like photo paper, and it was actually a little bit longer than this. I think it was 12 by 12 inches, and it's probably about 3 or 4 inches wide. It was something I had forever and ever ago, that from scrapbooking days. So that is old, old, old. You probably can't even get anything like that anymore. The main stickers that I used came from this. So Amber Plans Her Days, it's a Summer in Memories one, and I don't even know if I probably just have a couple things left over from that page, as well as there's a page of just florals, and you can see I've got some, and there's some here. This eagle was as part of that, so was this flag, floral, floral, floral. These balloons were part of it, as well as these rockets. The rest of this stuff I got somewhere else. The floral, if I didn't mention, these florals were from that as well. Some of these stickers here, and you can't see this real well. It says United States of America and then freedom. These down here, as well as this, they are all from an older sticker thing that I've had forever, and I've just kind of started using them. You know, I got you slowly, and eventually you start using all your stuff. Paper here, the black ripped paper is just let me see here. It is out of one of these big packs, so I just found it. This one was a gold pack. And I also had, this is one of the pages in there, and then I just had some blue cardstock, and I cut out pieces to make for my boxes to write in, and then I put some white sticker paper over the top of it to make room for the writing section. So I did not have like actual sticker boxes, I just made my own. Again, this is from, I actually might have been from that same sticker pack, because in the back is a whole bunch of words as well. So you've got a whole bunch of different word things here. So it's got all these summary things in it, in case you're curious. If she happens to have this available, that's what that is. Yes, so, and because I covered up a lot of the days and stuff, I put day stickers as well as different, the actual date, because obviously I covered those up over here, so I just did it for the whole week. So that is what I did for this week. So even though I've got a lot of it covered, it just, it seems a little bit more plain, I guess. That's the best word I can think of. So what I used for that was this, and I don't know if you can get this anymore. It's called Echo Pack Paper Company. It's a pack of 10 different pages, and it's almost more like a cardstock type of sticker. So I ended up using this one here, not the Ferris wheel obviously, but about everything else was still on that page. I've used these throughout different pages in my planners throughout the years, so kind of hit mix. And some of the things I might have needed, I was flipping through and found like some flowers that I needed a little extra for somewhere, so I might have pulled something from another page in here if it worked. But that is, for the most part, where I got all of this particular spread. I did use, and I've showed this before, the Mojo Jojo Plans monthly boxes. So it's got a rainbow of colored boxes. So that's where I got pretty much most of the boxes that went with this. But yeah, not too much going on with this. This one I used, let me find my things. Mainly I ended up using, it's called designerchameleon.com. So there's not much left of these this. That is what most of this, the artwork stuff is from. So we've got these as well as all of this. These up here were part of that. The thing that I added to it that's design type, not just boxes, was I've had this forever as well. Artistic scrap scrapper. It's probably stuff I've had from my, and notice it says Creative Imaginations. I don't know if that's part of who made this. I have no idea. But back in my scrapbook days, so I've had this left over. I did want to quickly show you where I had gotten this part from. But yeah, then again, the colorful boxes, same type of thing. I used Mojo Jojo plans and just filled it up, and then put all of the veggies and the canning stuff on here. The truck is a separate sticker on its own. So these sheets had a lot of, I mean, it had this one for a box. It has several swishes across. You can see that here. But all of the fruit and veggies and stuff like that all came on these sheets. This one was a separate thing you had to purchase all by itself. So it came separate from the pack that you get with the rest of this. So if you're interested in finding that, that is, don't forget to look for that, this one separately. And then the last one, it's got even less going on here because I will be going camping this week, and I might use this kind of as a journal of some of the things that I did while I was there. But for the most part, I won't be here, so I don't need to put a whole lot of stuff in there. These things right here, I have showed you those when I did my traveling pages, and that's this. It's Recollections, which I believe is Hobby Lobby, and it has all of these things in it. So I ended up using this one and this one and this one for this page. This right here, again, and this stuff here and this was all from scrapbook stuff that I don't know that you can get anymore. I've had it forever, and I've had these trees forever. So this is also from another page. So just went through all my stuff and found things that were camping, outdoorsy related. I may be able to fill some stuff in here before I leave for things I need to do. But the rest of it will probably be more of journal, like what went on while I was there. So anyway, that is it. That, you know, the 31st starts on Monday, and that will go into the month of August for the planner pages. So pretty quick and sweet here. So we've got this again. Got my garden stuff. Fun summer days. And then the 4th of July. So I hope you enjoy that, and hopefully I will have some August ones to share with you as well. And yes, I do have some August pages to show you, and as you can see, I have started off with some very sunny, bright colors. One thing that I did add to this month, and I do have to add to the last page on, you'll see that when I get to it. I just felt like adding some verses over on the sides over here. So that will be a little bit different, just kind of something I felt like doing for this month. I may continue into September a little bit, we'll see. It's just something I decided to do. So let's get into how I created some of these, well, all of them, and hopefully I have all of the supplies handy for you to be able to see all of that. This first one was primarily using this, and a lot of these will be familiar to you. There's a few things that are new. So Rainbow Florals, this is Amber Plans Her Day. So this is the one where it has the florals, and then it has the boxes to match, as well as some words that you can use on your page. So I used the florals in here, and I had intended to use the boxes, and I promptly forgot they were there. So I ended up pulling boxes that coordinated from other books, things like this that I had. So you don't just get the oranges. So if you were to look at this, you can see it's mainly a dark and a light orange, and I have more than that, which I do like because there are some yellows and greens in here, and so I was able to incorporate that into this. I only ended up using one of the word sayings. I mean, I used this one, but one of these in this, because this one came from something else, and that one came from this. So it is a happy planner. It is, as you can tell, it's wider, so it has bigger stickers. It's Seasons of Color was and they had a smaller booklet of this as well. But all of the things are much, much bigger to use as more as your focal piece. And it's, you know, got all 4 seasons worth in there. So I ended up using this. Less Monday, more summer. Yes, I agree with that totally, wholeheartedly. The other thing I added was some washi tape, which was just this yellow. You can't see it real well. You can kind of see it in there. It's a polka dot, even though it's a little harder to see, so you can see it there a little bit better. And then the limey green polka dot, and I ended up overlapping, so you can see that. So it changes the yellow a little bit. It kind of darkened it up a little bit. I did the same thing down here. But yeah, I really, really like it. Just gives a nice little pop of color for this. So that is the first week. Second week, mermaidies, you know, kind of oceany, whatever you want to call it. The main stickers that I used for this was this pack. I've had this pack sitting around for a little bit, and now I don't have any idea where I got it from. So this is not going to be very helpful for you. I'm sorry about that, but I did want to let you know this is where I got the stickers from, and that, you know, they weren't just imaginary. Anyway, so I did this sticker pack. I think I've got a few things out of order here. I used a lot of washi tape on this, a lot of different kinds, and I will show you all those. All of these lovelies. So this big one, mermaids, oh goodness, have more fun. You can see that, it's right in here. So I used that one. Then I've got like the scale one, and that is all down the spine. So I did that. I don't always do that. I've got one that's kind of like waves, and that's at the top. Then I've got the stripes, and you can see that, as well as I've got some purple ones. So these kind of went together in spots. So this is like a purple glitter. Oop, come on you. My camera's wanting to not focus. Holy mackerel. Okay, there we go. So a purple glitter, and then this one has several different sayings. So I'm going to point out I've got one here, and one here. And if I can find the start of it, which I think I knew where it was, it's got a little mermaid for, you know, in between each saying, but it says Queen of the Sea. It says salty but sweet. And then it says, let's see if it'll focus. It's trying to focus on the back. Make waves. And then it starts repeating itself. So I took each one of those and put them in different spots, each saying, and then just kind of added some pop of the glitter purple in those areas. The boxes, again, were kind of pulled from a lot of different areas, because you can see I've got a lot of colors. I'm trying to incorporate the colors that were in the stickers, so lots of purples. But there was also some pinks, and then this kind of aqua color. So lots of different areas. I'm not going to try and show you all those, because I've kind of already done that before in the past, and you know, if you've watched these before, you know what kind of books I have for boxes, and I may show you some more later, but we won't go into that too much. And here is week number 3 in August. This, I ended up using this book. I got this last year, so I'm not sure if it's available. Live, Love, Posh, Hello Spring. So it's got a lot more springy ones. The only thing I have left, I think, really to show you from it is this page, which has the flowers. But I had, and in this, usually you had 2 pages of each design. So I can show you another page. So for example, here, you are going to get 2 pages of those. And that is another page that goes with that, and there's the other one. So you get 2 pages of each of those. So this girl was in there, this big, huge flower cart was in there, the basket, the butterfly, this, all that kind of stuff. This, again, sorry about this, I'm setting it down and then I can't reach it, was out of here again. So I pulled another one of the stickers out of here to be in this page. I did use some washi tape. Again, I used these. So this one, you can see it's the big one. It has two different birds. So you got this bird here, and a little farther down you've got that bird here. Hopefully those were not coming out of focus. Okay, so used them on each side of the layout. Used, I've got the birds, the butterflies, some roses, whatnot. And then I also used these, just a little bit of accents. So I've got the green, because there was this green in here. And I wanted this to be looking like it's sitting on things or kind of anchoring things. So I did it over here too. So not only did I use the green, but then I've got this gold color here. And that is going right on top. So I just put it right on top of this, if I can make that work, kind of, right on top. I mean, it's showing through, but I'm trying to do this without being precise. Okay, so I just did that to give it more weight, that it was sitting on something, coming out of something. So I used that as my washi tape for there. Again, got lots and lots of boxes from a variety of places. One of them, I've shown you this before, I think, Mojo Jojo Plans. These are the autumn boxes. So there's a lot of autumn, so you can see the gold. There's some yellows and greens. Anyway, so this is the autumn one. And then another thing that I got, so this is kind of just showing you how you can pull from different places. So this is another Amber Plans Her Day Summer Memories, and the only thing I got out of here was some words. So I got the Happy Day, and this came with the other sticker pack for this stuff, but this has these little sprinkling kind of stickers in it. You can just barely see it. I don't know how. There we go. So you can kind of see it's little sprinkling ones. So I put it around the bottle as if it's kind of fizzing. Okay, so you can do that kind of stuff too. You don't just have to stick with just the layout kind of stuff that they give you in a particular book. And then the last week that we're going to look at, and again, this is the one I need to add the verse that I'm going to use. More outdoorsy, because it's summery, and that's kind of when I get outdoorsy more often. I showed you the camping one, and that was very plain, and we talked about why. So I wanted to have something that I was going to see a little bit more of when I got to that week. The places I got these stickers from, so most of the scenery ones, including these ones with the words, that came from this. So this is, where is it called? The Paper Studio. This is from Hobby Lobby. So they got lots and lots of outdoorsy ones, and that goes into kind of fishing and camping and lots of things like that. So you got the back page has kind of these sayings and stuff, and that's where I was able to use these. The other thing I accentuated this with, and so the animals came from this book too. The other thing I used was this big long one. This is also Paper Studio from Hobby Lobby. A lot of evergreens as well as the cones. So I used a couple of the big ones, and then I just accented with some pine cones and a couple spots. Used that, and then just because it's a new one, I wanted to show you where I got some boxes for this. I had just gotten this. It's a Mojo Jojo, and it's jewel tones. So this pretty like dark aqua, that came from here, as well as I want to believe this really dark green. So I'm going to flip through this so you can see the pretty jewel colors. So there's that blue. And then this is kind of an odd color. I wouldn't think a jewel tone for that. But then we get into more of these greens. This is kind of a bluish green in there. You have a little more fall type jewel tones. And then we get into the pinks and reds. Okay, so that I used that. I also ended up using, because I wanted a little bit more variety. Sometimes when you just pick two colors for stickers, it's like, okay, well, I already have that green. I don't want to put another green next to it, but then I have already used the blue. And so you kind of mix, you want to get a few more color options to spread it out. I used this one, and it is just green type things. So I got lots of green color sticker boxes in there. as well as this. I believe I got some colors out of here too. So lots of, well, this is a lot of what I used as in some of the other pages too, but you see you've got some greens. Okay, so lots of places that I pull my boxes from. There is some questionable, I'm questioning how they laid out their months. I'm sure they wanted to plan it so that you had more even amounts of weeks in the month. So usually if you have more days in the week for one month, it stays with that month. But for whatever reason in this planner, they have moved the end of, the end of August into September. And there's actually 4 more days in August, but they have moved it over into the September month. And so I'm just going to leave it alone, and I will, since I already have 4 weeks worth of pages here, I will just show you that the next time I get stuff done. So I will go back through as I usually do and show you the pages again. Our woodsy one, our floral, mermaid, and again another florally summery vibe one. So again, hope you enjoyed those and gave you some ideas of what you can do, and just, you know, sometimes it just takes a little bit to spark an idea, and then all of a sudden we're off and running. And with that, we'll see our next section in our video. All right, let's do some stitching and stuff, because that's kind of what you're probably here for mostly, and we don't want to deprive you of that. The other reason I don't want to be out here too long is the sun is going to keep moving, and therefore I'm going to get in the sun pretty soon. Okay, let me see what I've shown you before, because I've got 1 that I've showed you before, and then 3 that are kind of newish. Yeah, I think they're all new. So the one that I have showed you before was this one. So this is Rodney. Very cute. So I'll show you kind of close up of him. He's fun. He's fun. Normally I work him on Sundays. I don't always have like specific days for things, especially right now, but sometimes I do. And let's get a paper behind him so you can, it's not showing through. And there we are. So I've gotten a lot done. All of this area was not done. I've filled in all of him except for right here. So I think I might have had a little bit here and then some of this down here. But now I've got his ears done, more of his body, as well as finishing this stuff over here. Getting there. I'm loving him. He's very cute. I love these heart designs over here on the side, and I still have to fill in some of the speckled parts so they won't stay white on the speckled. There is something else there. I just haven't done that part yet. So I've gotten a lot done on him. Yay. All right, let's see if we can put this back. Another plane. The plane, the plane. Anybody remember that? Can we all name what that show is? That's right, Fantasy Island. I watch that a lot. All right, so the new things. Let's get into those. And these, let's see. I believe. Okay, actually, no, not new. There is one other thing that I think I showed you. So I'm going to show you that real quick, and then we'll get to the new ones. So this one, Forever in Peace. And this is Sweet Wing Studio. So we got that. So that is it. It's got all the different designs through each of the rows. And I finished that. That is an actual finish. I did change something. So in Forever in Peace, May You Wave, I changed that saying. And then I don't think I have, ooh, I might, yes. There was something else I changed, which was one of some of the colors. There it is. I changed it to God Bless the USA. So there is that. It's lovely. Lovely, lovely. I don't think I have, oh yes I do. So and I don't always remember to share this with you. The linen, sorry, crinkle, crinkle, is It's called Chocolate Milk. Oh, Fabric by Stephanie. That is the fabric. It's 32 count. And I'm going to show you the change that I made. I don't have all of it, but this was the called for color. How long is my... So it's kind of this terracotta color. And I didn't really care for it as much. I wanted it more red. So I changed it to this. Much more of a red. That was 902, in case you didn't see that. And then the lighter color, I don't have the called for, but this is the color I changed the lighter red to. Basically pink. So that's 224. So, I mean, you can see the difference. I'll hold the two up next to each other. You can see the difference. I just didn't want the terracotta color. I didn't care for it. Not with this. So I think it turned out fabulous with this coloring. I'll show you that again. I really like it. And it's not that the other color's bad, because I've seen Dee Dee, I think she's doing this right now, and I think she is using the call for. I'm not 100% sure on that. And it looks fine. It's just not what I had wanted at the time. So, yeah, this is what I end up changing it to. So it's lovely. Lovely, lovely. I like it. All right, we're going to put this all back, because we know better than to leave it all in a mess. It's too messy. Okay, now for the new one. Yes, this one. So these two, I just looked up because I wanted a specific look. I just Googled stuff and I found it. And so they don't have like who the designer is. So unfortunately, I can't really give you that. I can give you potentially a name. I'm not even sure if one of them has a name. So the first one is this. You can see the design there. It is called Bouquet with Lemons. It's really pretty. Really, really like it. It's, as you can see, the titling, it's Russian. This was just a PDF download that I ended up purchasing. So, yeah, I just don't know who, it says probably who the designer is, but it's in Russian, and I can't tell. All right, so let me move my thread so it's not in the way, and you'll be able to see. Put this behind it just to make it. So it's getting there. It's really pretty. I've got one lemon practically done, another partially done, and then I'm down into that bowl. That's what the white and the blue is. This is really, really pretty. I really, really like it. So there's that one. That's one of my newer, let me put this away correctly. Okay, one of my new starts. And then the other new start, again, this had, it could have been a Russian design too. I can't remember. I didn't have anything, any explanation, even in Russian, as to where this came from. So that I can't tell you either. That's it. Isn't she pretty? So pretty. So pretty. So let's get that out and show you. I am nearly done with this one. There it is. Isn't she fabulous? The only thing, and I wanted to use this fabric, so it's kind of like a mottled gray, and I got this from Hobby Lobby, I believe. The other one with the lemons is just a basic rustic kind of 18 count Ada. It's nothing special. So yeah, this is mottled gray, I believe. Hobby Lobby is where I got the fabric from. I think it's an 18 count as well. And I wanted that look behind her, but unfortunately, you can't see the white very well of where the edge of her dress is. I mean, you can kind of see it in here, but if you're just kind of sitting back here, it's not quite as visible. So I'm trying to decide, and I'm thinking I may not. It's like, do I put really faint kind of outline around this part of the dress? But I don't know that I will. So I have her head, obviously, to finish. And in this arm up here is nearly done. I've got her hand and then some spots here, a little bit more of this arm and the hand, and then a few little spots of her bodice that still need to be finished. But isn't that gorgeous? Ugh, I really, really like it. So pretty. So pretty. I did have to change one thing, and unfortunately I didn't bring the floss with me. So let's see if I can show you. It's kind of hard to tell. Okay, so there's a spot right in here. I know there's a lot of blending, a lot of changes. So a spot in here, and then there's some up in here as well, a little bit in here, a couple other little spots here and there. The color that it called for was like 996, which is what this like electric blue. It's awful. It just like, wow, right there in your face. It just seems so out of place with this. And we got these muted blues and everything. So, I changed it. I want to say it's like 3756 or something. I don't know if that's exactly correct or not. That could be wrong. It's actually more of this greenish blue. It seems like it wouldn't work. And I took this with me and some of the colors, actually all the colors I think, and I was trying all kinds of, just stood in front of the DMC area in the store, and I'm like, what is going to work for this color that's going to be a vibrant enough, but not like knock your socks off kind of vibrant, and it's going to work with this. And so that's what I got. And if I remember, we'll see, because I've got a lot going on today. When I edit this and I get it published and everything, I will try to put the color that I changed that to. So I'll put the color it was as well as what I changed it to, so you would know for sure what it was. But all the rest of it, I used the call for color because it's just, yeah, it's perfect. So there is that. That is what I have been. And I've been kind of staying a lot more focused on these pieces because I'm trying to get them done. And so I haven't really been doing a lot. Sometimes I have, I don't know, sometimes twice as many things to show you because I would have one stitch per day during the week sometimes. So I would have like at least seven things to show you, and I only had 4. So I've been kind of focusing on some of these other things instead. Okay, I'm going to show you some purchases before we get onto some next things. Yes, I know some of you have seen this. A lot of you probably saw this when it went on sale, and I love it. So Kitten Stitcher, it's by Plum Street Sampler, and Keepsake Peddler is who designed these. So they're just, I love these houses and barn. I mean, the ampersand is really neat too. So I want to get stitching on this, but I've got other things that kind of are taking priority right now. They weren't planned to be a priority, but all of a sudden they were. So yeah. Okay, so something else I got, and I wasn't planning to, is I guess what you would call a lap table. So these kinds of things. I was just walking through Walmart and I came across this, and I had wanted one, but I was like, oh, not only did they have it and it wasn't that expensive, but it's got some features that are absolutely great. So they're changing some things up to make it work for this day and age. So here it is. It's nice and wide. You can see how wide it is, but it's got a couple of things. So it's got an edge here to keep whatever from falling off. Now they're making this more look like you would use a laptop on it. So you'd keep your laptop from falling off. It's got an area for your mouse, if you want that. And then it's got this slit area up here. And it's got a couple of depths. I don't know if you can see that or not. A couple depths. So if you put your phone here and have it standing up, you know, in portrait mode, then it fits in this back slot. But then they have this really long section, and they're showing things like maybe an iPad type of thing. Genius! Absolutely genius. So I can take my little metal stand, the little skinny one that had, you know, you can put your pattern and put a magnet up there to keep it from falling down. It fits in this slot. So I can have my pattern sitting there in front of me for this, as well as whatever else I might want on here. Oh my gosh, this is a game changer, people. I love this thing. So when I say it was affordable, it was like $14 or $15 for this thing. Walmart, run and get yourself one. All right, we'll talk about the next thing now. Okay, as you can tell, I had to move. It wasn't because I couldn't handle the sun that was starting to shine on me, but my phone couldn't handle the sun that was starting to shine on it, and it was getting too hot. So I had to move more into the shade. So we're going to cover what's been going on like the last week or so. So I mentioned in the last video that I was going to be going camping. This is our church group camp. We got back last Saturday, so it's just been under a week that I've been back. And yeah, it's been a lot going on. But this was a new campground for us. Normally we go to the coast and there's a campground there. We love it. There's lots to do, but we were not able to there was not the availability for us to get there. So we had to pick a new place. This was the same road as you're going towards the coast. You just turn off about halfway there, and it's still kind of up in the hills, kind of at the beginning of where the coast range starts. So you do have a lot more hills where we were at. There are 2 campground loops, and then there's some cabins. So about 10 families stayed in the cabins. The rest of us were in mostly one of the loops, and then a few people were in the other loop. The loop that most of us were in was really nice because it didn't have, I know this doesn't sound great, it didn't have a lot of trees surrounding each of the sites. So a lot of times you get this almost claustrophobic feeling because you're just kind of in this little bubble in your own site. Whereas this one was much more open. And the reason that was nice is because, if you're going camping by yourself, that's great. But if you're going with a whole bunch of other people, it's kind of nice having this so open. So you could see people just about anywhere that our group was camping, and you could see if they're there, if they're at their site. Even the people that were on the other side of the loop, it was just this big open field for the most part. So you can look way across and see, oh, so-and-so's at their site. I'm going to go visit them and whatnot. So that was really, really nice. The sites were different because a lot of times when you go, you've got a paved back end spot for your car or your RV, and then it's just grass, maybe dirt or whatever else. And a lot of times if you have a tent, you're putting your tent on the grass, etc. This campground, all of the sites had it was almost like a crushed gravel pad that you had. So you had your paved, we'll let that noise go by. Think of elevator music right now. You had your paved part where you could back up your car, and then the crushed gravel. So even if you had an RV, you're probably going to be parking it on the crushed gravel. This pad was like, I want to say it was at least 15 by 15, if not closer to 20 by 20. So it was a really big site. So each one had their picnic table and their campfire ring in there as well. And you had to stay on the gravel. So you could not put the tent on the grass. All of the sites, I believe, had what we're used to as electricity and water. But at this particular place, they all had sewer hookups. So it made the sites a little bit more expensive. But it's all we could get. So it was fine. Some people who had RVs wanted that, and that was great. But for those of us who didn't need it, it was just, it was just there. So in case you live here and you want to know, this was Stub Stewart State Park. It's near Banks, kind of between Banks and Vernonia. It's got a lot of trails, so whether it's biking or hiking, there is a horse camp up in the park as well, so people can bring their horses, and they have like little miniature corrals so you can let your horse out of the trailer to stay. So people ride the horses up there too, but it's much more hilly. It's not flat, whereas our other campground had a lot of flatness. So it was great for the kids if you want to go on a long bike ride. Not that some people didn't take their kids on the hilly rides, but it made it a little bit harder, especially for some of our older people who could still go, whether they were using a regular pedal bike or if they had an e-bike, they could still go on the flat ones, whereas these ones made it pretty much impossible for them to do that. So if they did have something like an e-bike or whatever, they just would ride around in our loop, which wasn't terribly big, but yeah, so that was something different that we had to deal with. So you had to stay on your sites, I mean, on the gravel. But other than that, I mean, there were no mosquitoes at all. It was fabulous. That alone would make me want to go back. Clear skies every single night. There was one night that the clouds kind of started coming in, and even at sunset, I got a really pretty picture of the sunset against the clouds. But then they cleared off and it became just starlight. And because you're kind of up in the mountains and you're far enough away from a city, that it was gorgeous. So I have some pictures of while I was there that I will put in here for you to be able to see. One of the days, and several people ended up doing this, they went down to the coast. I'm not sure if everybody went to the same one. I heard a lot of people went to the same one I did, which was Cannon Beach, and that's where Haystack Rock is, if you've seen pictures or heard of that. So a lot of people ended up doing that one of the days. Just took out a good chunk of a day and drove down there. It was about an hour to drive there, but it wasn't that bad, and it was beautiful down there. A lot of times the coast is overcast and a little chilly, but it was sunny and warm when I went. So it was not a problem being able to go. So it was lovely. The only thing that kind of made me a little nervous is, and we didn't see it from the campground aspect, though I'm sure it might have been posted somewhere and I just didn't see it, but I heard from the people who are staying in the cabins that they had a little sheet when, to check in or at their cabins, just warning them that this is bear country and this is cougar country and this is raccoon country. And it's like, oh, I'm used to dealing with raccoons, but not so much with the bears and the cougars, which there's been a lot more sightings of cougars. A lot. And it's in various places, whether you're on a regular park hiking trail, whether you're out in the gorge, whatever. There's a lot more of them. A lot. It makes me, I'm one who I'm just going to go off by myself and I'm going to go on a hike. I'm going to go ride my bike. It makes me really think that over again about going by myself because there's so many more sightings of them. In fact, so much so that, and I don't know this has ever happened, but a couple weeks ago, that Haystack Rock I was talking about at the coast, I mean, this is out in the water. And at low tide, there's some rocks, low rocks that collect tide pools, so you can kind of be out closer to this. They don't let you get on the rock because it's a nature preserve type of thing, but we're not talking like it's in the mountains. We're talking it's on the ocean. There was a cougar on this rock trying to get to the birds because there's a lot of them. A cougar on the rocks at the beach. Yeah, apparently they had to shut down that area around the rock. I don't know what happened. I don't know if they had to tranquilize the thing to get it out of there or if they had to shoot it. I don't know. But that's kind of disturbing, actually. Kind of a lot disturbing to me. So, yeah, yeah. Anyway, so that was something else that I did. So I have some pictures, as I mentioned, some videos, whatnot, of not only the campground, the beach, but I took pictures of the night sky. And with my phone, we have something called astrophotography, and I have a Pixel, so I don't know how many phones have this. I would think an iPhone would, but this camera, this phone is known for its photography as well, kind of equivalent to an iPhone. So it had that feature on it. So what you do is you have to have it on some kind of stand, kind of like what I'm doing right now with this filming. And of course I've got it pointed up. So it has to be on a stand so it holds real still. And once you're in night mode for photography or video, whatever, then it will change to, it's got a little star icon instead of the moon. And when you click on that, it holds that shutter open for 4 minutes. 4 minutes. So it's taking a really good picture of the starlight or whatever it is that you're taking a picture of. So that will be in here as well. If it looks kind of faint, like it's like, wow, that's not really that great of a picture. I've noticed that if I'm in a lot of daylight, it doesn't show as well. You can't see it as clearly and as bright. You know, it's just like, wow, this is really cool. So if you wanted to see that, then you would need to go into somewhere like a little bit darker room in order to see the best shot of that. So I'll put that in there as well. It is a very busy air day, apparently. That's a helicopter, and I don't know if it's for the hospital or what, but because we also have a hospital near the airport. I'm trying to think if there was anything else photo-wise for that. I don't think there was, so I'll put those in there, and we'll be right back. Okay, two other quick little things. Apparently, and I kind of didn't really think about this in the last video, and I kind of thought about it since then. I haven't really done anything about it. This is like my anniversary for my Flosstube. I believe this is year number 4. 4 years. Wow, time just flies, I'm telling you. So, woohoo, happy anniversary. That's about all we get. I know last year I kind of did some fun giveaways and stuff, but for whatever reason, people are just not really, weren't that interested in wanting to get the giveaways, and they weren't that bad. They were patterns and bags and whatnot, and I just didn't really have the interest. So I'm not really gonna. Plus, I've got a lot of other things going on, so we're just gonna. That's all we're gonna say about that. All right, one other quick thing I just want to mention, and I don't mean this to be a Debbie Downer. Sorry, my tongue can't work. And I can't remember if I talked about this before. When I came back from StitchCon, you know, I drove that whole way there and back. A long drive, a lot of days. When you drive, you shouldn't just sit for hours and hours and hours, because it does nasty things to your back. And it messed my back up good. So I was in quite a bit of pain that after I came back. And you should like your lower back. And I had gotten in, and I had made this beforehand. I got in to have a massage done, because I do not like chiropractors. We're not going to go into that. I do not like them. And that helped. It made it feel really good. I do deep tissue because I can handle it. My back can handle really digging in deep and getting that muscle massaged correctly. So she did a really good job, and it was great for 3 weeks. And I wasn't even doing anything except sitting at church, and all of a sudden, my back hurts. My back hurts a lot. I mean, it was almost instantaneous that it was hurting again, just that fast. So I was able to get in fairly quickly. I can't remember how long I had to wait to get in again, because most of the time the massage appointments are full for months out sometimes. So I was able to thankfully get in fairly quickly. And then it was about a week and a half before we went camping. And that's a lot of work, and it's a lot of back work. So I had to, get the stuff out of the shed and whatnot. I had to load my car. I had to get there, set it up. Afterwards, take it down, bring it back, unload, all that stuff. And now my back is messed up again. Yeah, it hurts. It hurts. So, unfortunately, I can't get in to get a massage. When you're hurting that bad, you want to take care of it now. But I think it's going to be probably close to 2 weeks before I was able to get an appointment, which that's still good. That's still good. But yeah, I'm just going to have to be careful, and I ice it and I heat it, and I'm trying not to do too much. So I don't know if that's the solution. I still need to do stuff. You still need to keep moving. It's kind of like when you have arthritis. You don't want to not move it because that makes it worse. This is kind of the same thing. So I still move and I still do things, but I have to be careful about what I do and how much I do. So that's where it stands with that. Hopefully it will get taken care of soon. I don't know. I just don't know what the answer is. I don't know if it's just continue on the course that I'm doing, or if I need to do something different to solve this problem. So I don't know. Anyway, I think that's it for now. I did get some fun new fabric at the coast, but I'll have to save that for another time and show you that and whatnot. But yeah, that's it. I hope you all are having a great day. It's been getting a little warm again here. We had some very nice temperatures while I was camping. I mean, part of that was that we were up in the mountains, or kind of mountains. So it wasn't as hot. It was probably around 80 approximately. But it's warmed up here this week. It's been like upper 80s, 90s, or maybe low 90s. It's getting a little bit warmer, but it's summer. That's what you expect. So yeah, enjoying it while I can, doing what I can, and I hope you are too. And with that, we're going to say goodbye, and we'll see you the next time.